Okay, we'll call this meeting to order, 1800 on February 27th, 2025. Meeting's called to order. First thing is we need an election, of the, sitting members right now for, a chairman and then a vice chairman. And once we have a chairman, the chairman will take over this meeting. So, we need nominations for a chair of the Rescue Commission.
Nominate Ms. Phyllis.
I nominate Tammy Wilbanks.
Okay, you have two,
I decline.
okay?
I guess I should have did them first.
Any other nominations? We have one nomination, we do need a confirmation vote. Tammy Wilbanks for chairman of the Rescue Commission for this year. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Tammy, congratulations. Minutes in your meeting is yours. We need a vice chair and then, go through the other, any other appointments that you need to, or nominations.
Stay here, or do I need to move?
You don't have to. You're good.
Okay, do I hear a nomination for vice chair? I'd like to nominate Amber.
Welcome.
Yeah, first day.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Amber, do you accept?
Aye.
Okay. All right, I have been doing the secretary position. I would like to give that up if I'm gonna be chair. Is there anyone who would volunteer to do that?
I volunteer to do that.
Okay. Thank you, Phyllis. Okay, moving on to the approval of the 2025 Rescue Squad Advisory Commission meeting calendar. You should have that paper in your packet. The two at the end, November and December, are the ones that we need to pick alternate dates for due to holidays being on the date that we would meet. Is there any discussion on that? Of which of those dates you would prefer?
I'll make a motion to select November 13th and December the 11th.
Okay, there's a motion to select November 13th and December 11th.
I second it.
Okay, is there any discussion on any of the rest of the calendar?
Had to be the time, the 13th, I'm just checking real fast. So we're on,
The second. We will confirm those dates that the room is available. That's the only issue that if we have to come back for those 2 days.
The 13th and
For
the
the
11th?
13th and 11th, right now they're available. It should be available, but we'll have to confirm it between when we actually put these down on a piece of paper. And this room gets busy, so.
Okay. Any further discussion? All right, do I hear a motion to accept the calendar as stated with the November 13th and December 11th being the choices for those months?
I make that motion.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay. All those in favor? Okay, next item is the approval of the minutes for January 23rd, 2025. Everybody had a chance to look at those?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion, approval of the minutes.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Is there anyone for public comment? Okay, seeing no one, we'll move on to commissioner member comments. Does any commissioner member have a comment at this time? Committee reports. Do we have a report from the radio committee?
I can fill in some on that. The 130 tower is still underway. They're working on licensing and the building. The pad is in place, but they still have to have a building to put the stuff in. The 130 by the plant, the nuclear plant tower, is actually installed. We're in contract working with the plant on that piece. So we do not have a spot yet officially, but they are working hard to get that. That'll help us in the new remill down in the gully for some of that area, and significantly strengthen the Kiwi Key area for regular coverage. The FirstNet tower on 130 is supposed to go operational sometime this summer, is what it looks like, which will significantly help 911 coverage. The one thing about your phone is on 911 it chooses the closest tower. It doesn't have to be your carrier. So that's going to help a lot of people in that Salem area of the mountains and search and rescue as we move forward with that. Or not we, but FirstNet moves forward with that. Programming and those things are still working on some of the schematics, trying to figure out operational. The P25 repeater, extra repeater that we got on a grant last year just came in finally after 6 months of ordered. But we will be replacing and looking for options on that, on what that's gonna look like when we change that. The repeater will be the same as it is. No one else will know the difference. The only difference is that repeater will allow us to build our system under grant money. That's one of the reasons why we purchased it the way we did, because that repeater is P25 compliant, which is required for all federal grant money, which we all know right now federal grant money is changing fast, in what we may have or what we may not have. So every day is different. So we're trying to get a hold of it what we can now and use that on the radio side as we continue to fight the communication battle. So we're kind of where they're at. They do have a meeting tomorrow, or maybe they had one today, but I didn't get a brief on it.
The only other thing was, VTAC 37 channel we use up at Bad Creek. Anderson County has got the repair done. They just need to install it. So we'll have that coverage up there around Bad Creek, all that area up there.
Can you remind me where the FirstNet tower is?
It's above Bad Creek.
That's the one
It,
above
their,
Bad Creek.
FirstNet is going on the Duke Tower.
Okay.
That it sits, 280 feet above the ground on the Duke Tower, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's
That's
their
what I thought.
elevation, somewhere in there, between 200 and 280. I don't know exactly, but that'll significantly help that whole region of the valley.
All right, moving on, anything from the incentive committee?
So the incentive committee, because no one has, we do need to elect someone from your group to go to that. But it was chosen to, because it's been so late, to just say that we're keeping it exactly the same this year, for the incentive for next year.
Okay. SOG committee,
Both members previous members are off now.
okay,
You wanna put a member together for it?
yes. Is there anyone who would like to volunteer for the SOG committee?
And those are pretty much written. We just taken the ones that were approved and turned them into the format that the fire department side of OCS was using. So everybody's on the same page. Our rescue squad document was a 26 odd page, I think, document altogether, with also the training document. So we can get all those into a workable document that's specific to one area, not covering everything. So when it comes to editing and updating, it'll be a lot easier.
No current members for that one, Steve?
Not from, because Brady and, Kelly both were on that committee.
I'll take one of the spots.
You'll do that? All right, Ken will be on that committee. Is there any opposition to that? Does that need to be a vote, since he volunteered?
Well, yeah, it's an appointed position by the board, so
Okay.
you do need to vote on, technically vote on it.
What about the incentive committee? Do we need to appoint it?
You need to appoint someone to the Senate. There's
So
a
you
rescue
do
person that will need to do that also
Okay.
for any incentive questions as we start putting that together.
All right, so I will make a motion for Ken to be on the SOG committee. Is there a second to that?
Second?
All in favor? Okay, going back to the incentive committee, Amber, did you want to volunteer for that, or?
I would, but I don't know if my plate is getting too full.
Okay,
I'll take that spot as
you
well.
gonna do that one too?
Second.
All right, was anybody make a motion for Ken to be on that
Oh,
committee?
I thought that was motion. Motion to have Ken be on the incentive committee.
Okay, I'll second that. All those in favor? Okay. Training committee, that is the committee that I'm the lead on. We did have a, meeting last week and discussed several things. A few of the main things that we touched on, the night burn class that Augusta Burn came and did, that it was a conflict with the night class, so they're gonna try to get that rescheduled as soon as possible for those who had signed up for the night time class. Action training, we've talked about before, about that being available for CEPs, that you can do all of the action trainings under the medical, and that over the 2-year period would allow you to have everything you needed except for taking the written test and doing skills. So that is still in place, so if your squad does not have action training, you might want to get with them on that and see if that's a possibility for your squad.
But you'd also need to take, a BLS class, or a CPR
And the
class.
CPR
And a
class,
CPR
yes.
class. Hands-on CPR class.
And hands-on CPR.
Refresher.
Classes are getting canceled due to low enrollment, so encourage your squads to sign up for any of those classes that are on that list that Honeycutt sends out. We're also, as Mike mentioned, we're working on getting the training document into a different format, so it matches SOG, so that if some part of it needs to be changed, we don't have to change the whole document. And scheduled our next meeting for April. We're gonna skip March. We were meeting every other month, so we're gonna keep that up unless we need to meet specifically 1 month. Phyllis or Mike, do you have anything to add to that, because you were both there?
I mean, most of the classes, like you're talking about, that were canceled was, night and weekend classes that were developed, put out there for more, volunteer, hours of availability, and those just didn't go because of low enrollment. They can let them slide with usually 10, but all the classes have got to have at least 12 in them for the fire academy to pay an instructor. So if it's a class we do locally, we can kind of go with a lower number, but if we're running that rescue class or whatever class through them, they're pretty stringent on the numbers. So,
Okay. Anything else to add to that from anybody, or questions?
Do you have a representative from each squad?
We need to revamp the committee. You have,
right now, Nat Mann's on the
Nat
phone.
is 7 and 8, and then we're gonna have to have somebody from 1 and 3 represent those. And then 4,
We had Ray.
Ray is 3, yes. So we do have to have a few more, but Nat does have the 7 and 8 spot.
He's still doing that though?
Yes,
Okay.
he was there the other
I
night.
knew he,
No, he wasn't there the other night, but he has been coming.
okay.
No, he was there.
No, he was there.
He was there.
Like I said, I said next.
Okay, if there's nothing else there, Chief Carroll, your report?
Good evening, everybody. The new vehicles, the Salem, chassis, was taken down to, Lee Transport. Drove down there about 2 weeks ago to get the body put on that. It's gonna be down there about a month and a half to get the body put on it, then it'll be back here where it'll get in line to get lights. We're working out with Salem Rescue. They wanted to add some other items that they're gonna pay out of pocket to put on it. They wanted to cover for it. Cause they would put some items in the bed. Anybody have any, excuse me, the Oakway truck still on order. I don't expect to see it till maybe summer, June, unless something happens. And we're looking at next year's. I'm not sure yet. Rescue squad response report, and if anybody got any questions on vehicles? We got last month's response report, looking at the numbers, for the ones that have seen the graphic before, total dispatches, or what the squads were dispatched on, no responses, the ones they did not go on, and success rate means basically it, they made 99, for Seneca Rescue, they had 195 runs, they only had one no response, so 99.99% of the calls they were able to make. And we'll go down the line, we still have Oakway still meeting about 50, Walhalla about 50, Westminster's meeting about 60%, Mountain Rest. Yeah, for ones that are not, they're going basically starting over. There's a group working to get the squad back up and running. I'm probably gonna meet Chief Fox again sometime real soon and, talk about some things that they had brought up that they may possibly, excuse me, I'm fighting this cold. Maybe working to do some things. Anybody got any questions on that?
So is Oakway having the same issues you said?
Oakway got a lot of new members, so they're picking up. So their numbers ought to show a little bit better now. It's coming.
We'll, and I noticed it, we'll provide you with last year's full numbers, next time, sorry,
I can send you an email with
yeah.
it.
So
Spreadsheet
you have it
breakdown all
compared
last year.
for the year, the same spreadsheet, but for the year.
Any questions? Move on to training.
Quick
Oh.
question. I saw that Mountain Rest got some people in the firefighter 1 class. Are they got people that can run calls, some of them younger blood, are they signed off to run, or
They don't have EMR, so
nobody with EMR?
they're, they're, all of those are truly new people.
New people,
So
okay.
we've gotta go from ground zero. It's gonna take a little bit of time to get some more.
Okay.
And they got a couple of new members. I'm not sure. I gotta find out what they're only gonna do rescue only, I thought. So we'll find out what's gonna happen with that.
Awesome.
Upcoming training. There's a training app you can pull up on your phones if most people have it. Classes we're looking at, we're gonna have another probably EMR class coming up. I'm not sure of the dates right now, cause we're trying to, Honeycutt's trying to work them into the schedule they got already. Between all the things he has to teach, plus teach a whole class, a refresher class. We did talk today about the EMT training we're gonna put on. It's probably gonna be in the August, starting out in the August timeframe. And with that, we wanna make sure, cause this class is gonna be expensive, before anybody signs up for it, they gotta have approval of their squad, cause squad's gonna probably picking up the bill for this, partial. Or, let's see if we can get another one through a grant, but not sure of that. But they'll have to basically say, hey, if you're, not gonna be like a couple we had last time, drop out, where we just lost the spot for a free class. Get people drop out, make sure they're engaged, to want to, and have time to do this training. So.
Is that EMR class, is that for new EMRs or recurring?
The EMR will be, we'll probably have another refresher and a new one.
For a refresher and a new one? Okay,
I'm just not sure of the time frame.
okay.
But the EMT class, there'll be more of that coming out. He was working on some things, he'll probably put out in the next couple of days. If not, probably next week. Anybody have any questions? 2025 incentive, Director Prime just went over that, and I really have nothing to say. We, after tracking incentive for the last 5 years, we have a large number did make it this year. So the largest number yet that I'm aware of. So, just keep people involved in their training, questions, don't wait till the last minute to turn in, files, that we just can't guess that you recertified your first aid or your CPR. We need the cards to know that you did it. We don't look through everybody's training record to do that. We don't get the cards, especially American Heart Association, goes right to the person now. So we have a little bit better if we're instructors teaching it through the ASHE, where we're making the cards in-house, so we know. So just remind your people to turn in their certifications to the training officers. And right now, we're holding those until we move, I'm not putting anything else in ERS until the new system's coming up and running, because ERS is done hopefully in the next month. So, and then we'll talk about that. As long as things on track with that, we'll be having some training classes for the new software. Anybody have any questions?
Can we step back, training, we had a couple members just wondering, I know there was mention about the new CEP program. They just want to know, is there any new criteria, requirements, as far as it relates to the center or anything like that you can touch base on?
Won't be
Some kind of
this year.
policies or anything?
Nothing on it. No requirement for incentive for a CEP this year, because we're 6 months into the year. So,
Is that all of your report, Chief?
that's all I got.
Okay. Director Cron?
So, tomorrow night, we have our, big awards, dinner, coming up. Just to give you a little bit, there's over 270 people registered to come, to that. Now that is, again, everyone from, EMS, police, fire and rescue all together in that, because we have over 22 life safety events that we are giving awards for, and everyone involved in that. Not to mention, officers of the year, volunteers of the year, rescuers of the year, all that also. But there are hundreds of people that will be recognized during this event. And so, we don't have any more space for anyone left. We've used all of that up, which is a great thing. People are coming, but, just remind your people, if you said you were coming, please come, because we pay for every single one of those slots if you show up or not. And once again, the incentive, money that the county gives us is paying for anyone that received the incentive and anyone that received an award for the county. The county will pick up the bill for that. So, in years past, most of the squads picked up for the significant other if they weren't a rescuer or a member also, of a squad that received that, money. And so we just, we know that there's more out there than we are giving out, and it's because we don't know about it. So we want to, it's early on in the year. If you know of a life-saving or know of a specific event where something specifically happened, write it down, make sure we have a call number, get it turned in, myself, chief. We'll make sure that we log those for the committee. When they get ready, this group will have to assign someone to the, awards committee also at some point, later in the year, and to make all those decisions. But if we start getting those, awards for that awards dinner now, when they happen, we can make sure we recognize as many as possible. But basically, it was amazing when you look at 22 lives were directly affected that we know about that had a significant life event that walked out of the hospital. Or was significantly, was deemed alive. And so, that's a lot for our small county, and it shows the differences we're making, in our response and in our training, as we continue to try to, increase the availability for everyone for life safety reasons. And that's all I have tonight. Any questions?
No questions, we'll move on to rescue squad updates. Commissioner Justice?
Region One Civic Rescue had nothing to report. Spoke with Chief Fuller with Oakway Rescue. They are actively recruiting new members. They currently have, 2 members just recently passed their EMR. And they have, 1 or 2 members that are anticipating the upcoming EMT class, hopefully to, join.
Okay, Region Two, it's myself. Rescue Two, we just had a research class for 4 members who passed that and are good for the next 2 years. 2 new, members, one a junior firefighter, one a regular member, just finished the daytime EMR class. And I haven't heard if they passed, but I'm sure they probably did. They were pretty sharp with that. 2 upcoming fundraisers. We have a car show on April the 12th, where we'll be doing hamburgers and hot dogs in conjunction with the town's car show. And May 3rd, a breakfast. That'll be 6 to 11 a.m. And I can send out more about that in the next week or so. Rescue 6 had communication with Chief Fox, and he said they did have the 2 new members that Chief Carroll mentioned, and just still trying to get things up and running and get back responding to calls. So that's all I have. Region 3, do we have a report for that?
I have nothing.
Okay. Region 4, Commissioner Raver.
We have 16 new members that are completing their class. We're having a meet and greet at the shuffleboard courts in March to welcome them into the squad, and we're manning a table at Station 17. They're having an open house, so we're gonna have a table there to give out file of life cards and lockbox information.
I do wanna, I've had some good conversation in the working together with 17 and 22, had some good feedback, so make sure your members know we appreciate everyone working
I will.
together to do the job, and there's been some good feedback, so.
Good. Thank you.
Just to follow up on a project that y'all did, the Build-A-Bed, how did that go?
It worked out really well. They opened up the bay, they took the trucks out of the bay, and the only thing is the people bringing the equipment, they had a flat tire on the way there, and then when they got right into the fire bay area, their staining equipment exploded. But the fire guys cleaned it up. They got it all cleaned up. It wasn't, but we weren't able to stain anything because it was, but we were able to put most of the bed together. And then, and anybody that wants to volunteer, they do this usually on Saturdays. And it's a couple school teachers that run it, and they do it on their day off. So, but anybody can go to where they do this and volunteer.
Thank you.
We did blow a couple fuses at the fire station, but they got those fixed.
Okay, Commissioner Alden?
All right, so, 4, Rescue 7, which is dive, we added 2 new members on Tuesday night. We also have our swim test and dive skills training coming up Saturday and Sunday, this week. We also are gonna make an appearance at the Chickasaw Point, Polar Plunge. We have some sonar training coming up on March 8th. Some more kind of all-day training on, April 26th, and that's gonna be at Jocassee, and then a May 18th date for a family day. And then, also, we do have the compressor being worked on at Rescue 4. All of our tanks were, vised and sent to hydro last month. And then Dive 74, Marine 703 are in service, but they need some work. For Special Rescue, Rescue 8, we have the trail bikes that are gonna be going away for some, maintenance. We also had the Duke Energy, grant equipment come in, and, Smitty's wanting to get a picture of us in front of that equipment to send off to Duke Energy so they can see where their money was spent. We also made some motions to purchase, an AC unit for our Swiftwater trailer, and new helmets and new, harnesses, full body harnesses. And equine emergency awareness, we have that coming up, which we're gonna try to send 10 people to that, if possible. And I believe that's it.
Next thing is, we need to go into executive session. Oh, I'm sorry, Dean.
That's okay. I have nothing from the rescue chief, so we're good.
Okay,
Like,
I'm good.
you good? Okay, do I hear a motion that we move into executive session?
I make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Oh,
I hear a motion that we exit executive session?
Motion.
All those in favor? Okay, the disciplinary action, was upheld in executive session, and the director and Chief Carroll will be beginning with the chief and departments involved, so. Okay, the only thing left on the agenda is to adjourn. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?